You know, people who have never worked on an EPC site have one funny assumption. They think projects run exactly the way they run in presentation. A neat Gantt chart, a crisp plan, a perfect sequence of activities. But ask anyone who has actually managed a site, even for 1 month, and they will tell you the truth. Site welcomes you with a completely different attitude. The site has its own mind, its own personality, its own mood swings. So, today let's talk about that reality. The honest version, not the one shown in boardrooms, the one lived every day by engineers, project managers, and site in charges. Welcome to EPC Sadhana, where we learn EPC not from textbooks, but from the dust, chaos, and wisdom of real sites.
While working on Series 1, that is from firefighting to excellence, process transformation in EPC, a consistent theme emerged from subscribers and viewers, and there is a significant gap between what EPC organizations intend to do and what actually happens on the ground. So, the Series 3 EPC versus reality of EPC Sadhana is introduced based on these inputs. This series focuses on contrasting planned processes, structures, and decisions with their real execution at sites. The intent is not to present perfect solutions, but to surface the mechanism behind this gap and discuss practical, experience based ways to make planned outcomes actually happen.
In this episode, I'm going to walk you through 8 brutally real truths of EPC execution, truths that impact project delays, cost overruns, rework, coordination problems, and approvals. Truths that determine whether your project becomes predictable or becomes a daily firefighting exercise. Truths that no college teaches, but every engineer learns the hard way. If you are an EPC professional, be ready to say exactly at least 3 times. Let's dive in. Truth 1, planning versus ground reality. On paper, you see this lovely line. Excavation starts on day 1. Very good, very optimistic. But reality says something else. Land not fully handed over. Local villagers still discussing minor issues. Access road half washed away in rains. Where is the NOC? Sir, file is in process. The plan says start work. Reality says you can't even enter that area. And the funniest part, everyone asks the same question. Why is progress slow? Because the plan assumes a perfect world. The ground offers you a very imperfect one. This is the first crack between planning and reality. Truth 2, drawings versus execution. Drawing says clear alignment. Reality is a massive rock right where the foundation should be. Drawing says 2 meters excavation, but reality says water table is at 0.5 meters. In planning sessions, someone confidently says all good for construction drawings will come on time, and every experienced engineer in the room quietly smiles because the reality is more like this. Structural drawing is released, MVP drawings are under discussion, client comments come after work starts, latest revision sitting in someone's inbox, and the site team faces this most often. Revision 1 is executed, Revision 2 received last night, Revision 3 discussed in today's meeting, Revision 4 expected maybe next week. Execution becomes a moving target, and the poor junior engineer he keeps asking, Sir, which revision is final? Welcome to EPC. Resource planning versus site availability. The schedule says mobilize all resources as per baseline. Simple line, but resources have their own destiny. JCB delayed, pump broken down, transit mixer sent for another pour. Foreman took leave, Vendor missed delivery. Welder went to his native for a wedding, and still the target remains the same. So, what does the site team do? Adjust, juggle, negotiate, and improvise. Push one activity, prepone another, and somehow survive the day. This is where overtime begins, and quietly, so does rework. Let's see procurement versus practicality. Planner shows a simple chain: purchase requisition to PO to delivery and then execution. But the real chain looks like something like this: purchase requisition, then follow up, clarification, vendor negotiation, advance request, manufacturing delay, QC rejection, transport issue, client spec change after release of PO. Then you have to do re-PR, that is purchase requisition, new PO, new delivery date. This keeps continuing. Ask any procurement engineer, their life is not Excel sheet. It is daily detective work. And many EPC professionals realize only after joining. But procurement delays hit harder than execution delays. Quality assurance and quality control versus site urgency. Plan says planned pour time is 10 a.m. Checklist is ready. QP approved. Client inspector available. Beautiful. Now let's see the reality. Inspector is unreachable. QP is still under review. Checklist stuck on WhatsApp. Lab tech delayed. Slump test kit misplaced. And now the pour is pushed from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Workers waiting, pump waiting, transit mixers waiting. The cost rises, the pressure rises, and quality quietly drops, all because one tiny approval slipped. A single approval delay causes a full day impact. Safety versus pressure. Everyone says safety first, but on a high pressure day, a different voice whispers, "Sir, we must complete this today. Sir, client visit is tomorrow. Sir, shutdown closes by evening." And suddenly shortcuts appear. Harness not worn, barricade removed, work done in low light. One guy walks where he should not. Most incidents don't happen because people don't know safety. They happen because people choose speed over safety. Safety is not rules, but safety is culture. Coordination realities. Planning shows smooth weekly meeting, everyone aligned, everything is green. Actual site coordinations looks like execution team is already on the ground, procurement is chasing vendors, design sorting revisions, QA QC is at lab, safety doing toolbox talk, client asking for reports, HO asking for MIS, network is dropping in meetings, and the half teams joins late. The other half joins from a noisy site. Coordination becomes a seven-way traffic jam. This is why EPC requires not just meetings but method. Approvals versus dependency. On paper, it looks like submit, review, and approve. But in reality, approver is on leave, client is busy, HO wants justification, another person asks for resubmission, old revision approved by mistake, somebody attaches the wrong attachment, then everything restarts. By the time approval comes, your planned date has already crossed the border. Approvals are one of the biggest silent killers of EPC timelines. HO thinks site is not sending daily, weekly, monthly reports. Site thinks HO does not read reports, and both are correct. HO is asking send the status. Site says, सर status काम करने के बाद भेजेंगे, अभी काम ही नहीं हो रहा है. Sir, we will send the status if there is work, but the work is not happening. Let's see why does this gap exist. Because EPC is not linear. It is not a straight pipeline. It is a spider web. Design, procurement, execution, safety, finance, client, vendors, subcontractors. Each one moves with different speed, with different pressure, different reality. One small delay in one corner creates a domino effect everywhere else. This is the real chain reaction in most EPC projects. And this is why even the best plans fall apart without ground systems. This is the unspoken truth of EPC execution. Planning without ground reality. Planning teams and site teams often work in silos. The document looks perfect, but the ground conditions do not. Processes exist, but not with site conditions in mind. No cross-functional visibility, or poor coordination between functions, vendors, and site teams. Everyone assumes someone else is handling it, but nobody owns the chain end to end. Unclear documentation. Documentation seen as extra work. Teams prioritize physical progress over accurate reporting. But you know what? Poor data leads to poor decisions. Leadership blind spots. Management receives filtered reports. Risks are underreported and issues are escalated only they explode. This creates blind spots that derail the project. Timely reporting might have helped in taking corrective actions, but if it's already late, what happens other than firefighting? The core problem is not people, it is the absence of integrated thinking or what is call it as process thinking. Processes are made in meeting rooms, but reality lives at the site. The gap exists because both worlds rarely talk. So, what could be the solution? No shouting, no blaming, not weekend firefighting. Four useful solutions. First is practical processes, not fancy documentation, but rewrite processes based on actual site conditions, not assumptions, not theoretical standards, but the practical proven steps that work on ground. Integrated planning, where drawings, procurement, finance and execution talks to each other before something breaks. Here is a simple workable method that best EPC teams follow. Accept reality, not fantasy. Plans are flexible, responsiveness are fast, blame is zero. Best EPC teams detect delays early, very early, not at 70% progress, but at the first ripple. So the third focus is tight governance, daily reviews with actionable outcomes, clear responsibilities with timelines, transparent data, and the courage to act early. Build a culture of predictability. Predictability is not luck, it's a habit. Daily discipline and clear communication, accurate reporting, and unshakable focus on cost, time, scope, quality, and safety. You need not to control everything, you need to control the right thing. That's EPC mastery. If you ever felt that your project is slipping, that you're always firefighting, that nothing goes as planned, I want you to remember this. You're not failing, you're simply working in EPC. And EPC is not meant to be perfect. EPC is meant to be controlled. EPC is not easy, it's messy, chaotic, and unpredictable. But that's also what makes it beautiful. Because every day you learn something new. You grow, you evolve, you become sharper. If this episode made you nod your head, you might agree EPC projects are always run on people effort, not process excellence. And that's exactly what EPC Sadhana is here to change. If you want more honest EPC truth, practical frameworks, and real solutions, subscribe and join industry's first EPC Process Excellence channel, EPC Sadhana with GK, one episode at a time. And get ready for the next episode. Trust me, the episode will change the way you see your entire project life cycle. See you in the next episode of EPC Sadhana.